everyone, welcome to Star English. I'm your host, Stephen Revere. You know, when you're in love with someone, you always want to be your best for them, don't you? There's a line that gets used in a lot of movies that's a very popular line. The man looks at his woman and says, "You make me want to be a better man." Huh? Do you have someone like this? Have you had this experience? You know, it's great to be in love, and if you're in love and that makes you want to be a better person, then you are a very lucky person. And I'm very lucky to have all of you joining us for Star English. Let's get started. Okay, now it's time for a little trivia. You know, our studio, if you look around, this is actually a blue studio, and then they put a different background on it, right? But the first movie studio ever, what color do you think that was? It was a black studio, actually. And they called it the Black Maria. Why? Apparently, Black Maria was the name of a car that they used to drive prisoners around in, and they took that name for their studio, the Black Maria. Interesting choice. I personally wouldn't have chosen that, but anyway, let's get started today with a great actor, and maybe he can fill us in on what kind of names they use for studios today. Let's go meet him. Hello again, Peter.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again.
Sure, no problem.
Last time we got to learn a lot about your career.
Yeah.
And how it has developed over a very short time in film.
Sure.
Since 2008.
Yeah.
Film and TV.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about your background. You said you're Korean American originally, huh?
Yes. Well, I mean, my dad was actually, he was stationed in Korea. Mm-hmm. He was in the U.S. military. Mm-hmm. And his job was actually it was in telecommunications. Mm-hmm. So he was in charge of setting up the telephone lines all along the DMZ.
Oh, really?
And connected to Seoul.
And what year was this?
Oh my gosh.
Going back into you're 83, right?
Yeah,
so in the 70s?
Thinking like 79 or
okay.
78.
Mm-hmm.
Then my dad met my mother, mm-hmm. and at the time she could not speak any English at all.
Really?
Yeah. So they would tell me stories about how they were meeting on dates, and mm-hmm. my dad would have a calendar and point to the date and write a time and place, and then they would meet.
Wow.
So they fell in love and then moved back to the States, and shortly thereafter I was born.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you grew up in the States, not speaking any Korean?
Yes.
Yeah. And did your mother teach you about the Korean culture and things like this? Or?
I think the gist of all the Korean culture I learned was from attending Korean church. Mm-hmm. So every Sunday I would go to Korean service after American service, and then after we had the service and mm-hmm. Sunday school, etc., mm-hmm. we'd have a huge Korean feast. Mm-hmm. So and then I met a lot of half Koreans or Korean kids and mm-hmm. became friends with them.
Mm-hmm. About a lot of Korean Americans. So you attended church twice on Sundays, did you?
Yes.
Very religious family,
yes.
I see. I assume, huh?
Yeah, actually my mother is 목사님 or minister.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So your mother being a minister, you grew up in So why did your dad send you to? Your dad sent you to one church and she sent you to another one, or?
No, actually, my mom sent me to both of the churches.
Why?
She wanted me to have the English service. She liked the English church and the style, and then Korean, obviously, because she's Korean and she's more comfortable in that setting as well. So.
Okay. So she wanted you to have both cultures.
Yes.
And be able to access both cultures.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you learn from Korean Sunday school? What was different?
When I first went to Korean church, it was kind of frightening.
Really?
Yeah, because in an American church, you know, everyone's like, yeah, sure, some people are crying and when they're really in deep prayer, and when they're singing hymns, they're quite happy. But like when I noticed in a Korean church, when it came to prayer time, everyone was talking faster than I could even understand. I can't, even now if I went to a Korean church, I would not be able to understand what they're saying. They just talk so fast and like so into it. And like, I almost felt like they were under like some higher possession or something. So at first I was kind of freaked out of the natural service, the Korean service, the main service. But the Sunday school was a lot of fun. I mean, with all the other Korean Americans, we had something in common since we were Koreans living in the States. So we made a lot of friends, and we always stuck together.
Yeah. And some of the kids probably spoke better Korean than English in a lot of the time, too, right?
No, mostly everyone at that church, all the kids spoke English.
Spoke English.
Because, I mean, we were all raised and born in the States, so we went to American schools.
And what did they teach you about Korean culture? Did they teach you anything about Korean culture, or just pretty much just the religious?
The religious part, I mean, the food aspect afterwards, the communal. And like they offered some like basic Korean lessons. So actually I did learn some of the alphabet and like basic words, but nothing that was extremely useful when I first came to Korea.
Yeah, well, the alphabet's pretty useful.
Well,
you don't remember it.
I didn't remember it.
Right.
But I picked it up a lot faster. Like I would say in a day I was able to read the Korean language, but just because I could read it doesn't mean I could understand what I was reading.
Of course. Yeah, you just still don't know what it's about and anything.
Exactly.
And growing up, did you find, what area? You said Wisconsin?
Yep.